So everyone, thank you for what has been a wonderful 2 nights of listening and learning and actually being able to, hear the voices of people I've only met on social media before, being able to share our ideas, to have some friendly discussions and even debates about things that we need to do or things that we need to not lose. When I first came to the party, one of the things I was interested in was an alternative politics. And by alternative, what I meant was that you had two rival systems that had developed between the Republicans and the Democrats. Systems of what I called rival humiliations, where one party had their group of people who were virtuous and the other people who were bad and not nice and were going to get coal for Christmas. And then the other party had their group of people who were going to get the great presents, and the other people were the bad guys who needed to be punished or thwarted or controlled or what have you. And in both cases, they kind of built up mutual animosities to where it kind of became my team versus your team. It's like the football rivalries, the Cowboys versus the Washington football team, my football team, which no longer has a name. And I didn't want my politics to be that way, a politics of I disagree with my neighbor, therefore I am personally against them. Or the idea that if someone disagrees with me, I should feel like they're attacking me as a person. With ASP, I found a home, a party where no one sets out to say, okay, how are we going to go and dominate these other people? How are we going to control these other people or have power over them? We say, how are we going to make life better for all of us? How are we going to take care of our environment? Because you know what? We share it. How are we going to have good policing? Because we all need justice and protection, and we all need public safety. How are we going to have a good and ethical worldview regarding warfare and defense? Because we want to be a force for good in the world. We don't want to cause harm in the world, but national security is also a legitimate aim of the state. How do we do that in a way that's not about, this kind of vulgar politics of domination and control and look at us, how powerful we are, but really about defense and pursuing world peace? Why can't we have a politics that when we discuss schooling, we really talk about what we need to do for our students, and even our students who are less fortunate and don't come from families they're able to give them the tools of competition that other people have? How do we make that more fair and equitable? A party that doesn't look at it as a zero sum where I must gain and you must lose, but that we all gain together. This is something that many Americans are looking for. This is what you've been discussing over the last 2 evenings. You've given up 4 hours of your life to talk about this, to discuss it. What I'm now asking for you to do is commit for the rest of the year to spread this message to your neighbors, to your family, to your friends, people who are feeling left out, hurting, lost. One member tonight said, I found the ASP, but we need to go out and find the people who aren't going to find us, who wish they could find us. And I think that's a great word to leave with. The idea that we're going to go out and find our fellow Americans for something different that really is different. That we're a party that really does not come together to say we're going to take power for its own ends, but comes together to say we have solutions. And if people want to follow on with our solutions, you're welcome to join us to implement them. A party that looks at a problem not as people who we disagree with being the problem, but as a situation being a problem, and situations which can be resolved. Not easily, but through effort. But if people truly believe that the United States at one point was able to go from being a collection of colonies to becoming an extremely powerful country, to becoming one that culture was influential around the globe, it didn't happen overnight. There are struggles for justice at home and justice abroad, and none of it was easy. Why should we expect it to be easy going forward? In fact, I'm excited. Sometimes it could look as though all the cool things in history happened in the past, all the great adventures, but we're going to build our own. We're going to build a party that's actually going to bring something new to the American people, a new ethic of politics, a new ethic of civic responsibility, a new belief that our nation is a federation of families, and all individuals are part of families, whether they're blood relations, whether it's your church community, whether it's just your neighbors. Maybe it's your evening gaming group. Maybe it's the people who you met in college. who are closer to you than your own siblings or family. Everyone is part of a network. No one is to be left alone. And if that's our party mantra, that it's for common good and common sense and common ground, then we're absolutely a party where we're not going to leave any American alone, where no one will be left behind. We're not trying to, quote, take our country back. This is already our country that we share with everyone else, and we're going to share it gladly and with love and with, of course, solidarity. So everyone, good night. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your commitment.